foods are not stale foods. Frozen foods are not stale foods. Frozen foods are not stale foods. Frozen foods are not stale foods. I've been hearing everywhere. If you put your food inside the freezer, it will become stale. So all this men will be like, no, I want my wife to cook fresh food. If I want pound yam and soup, she has to make it at that moment. Come on now. We've advanced. I mean, the technology has made things way easier for us. You don't want to be suffering us, Abi. Frozen food are not stale food. So that brings us to this topic of today. Today we're going to be talking about food preservation. Different ways to preserve your food and to make it still safer for you. I don't want to be hearing that thing again, oh, that frozen food are stale food. Do you know what stale food is? Is after you freeze your food and you try to like defreeze it, does it look like this? Or like this? Or like that? Frozen foods are not stale food. So now coming to today's episode of Unfiltered Naza, I'm here to just give you tips on your healthy living, make you aware of some other things. You can take that from me. I'm a student nutritionist. Yeah. Oh my god. So today we are going to be emphasizing on food preservation. First of all, what is preservation? Preservation is actually different from food storage. You know that, right? Now, preservation can be defined as the treatment or the way of handling food so it can actually stay for a longer time, like so it can increase its lifespan. So for instance, now if a vegetable is supposed to, vegetables are very perishable and they're supposed to be like 2-3 days and then they'll spoil. Yes, but then when you preserve your vegetable, it can last about a month, 2 months, 6 months, and so on and so forth. I know you're going to wonder, you're going to come into that, because this video is going to might have a part 1 and part 2. I know you don't want to miss them. So having known what is preservation, I'd like to distinguish preservation and storage. Do you know what it means to store food? Storing food is just like getting food and then putting it in a particular condition for it to actually be okay and stay for a while. Okay. Now, while preserving food, you either alter the condition, like the environmental condition of that food, or better, you can still like, alter the food itself. Like alter the food, whether you're like processing the food or to turn it into something else just to preserve it. Then we have like tomato paste. When you're trying to preserve your tomato, like a fresh tomato, you have to go through processes and then keep it safe. So that's it. So we have different types of preservation. I'll come with the first one. We have the preservation by high temperature. I know you know that one already. Preservation by high temperature. Preservation high temperature normally works for dairy products mostly, and many other food and vegetables as well. So under preservation by high temperature, we have pasteurization, we have the sterilization, and we have the blanching. I'll start with the blanching first because that's my favorite part. Do you know you can actually preserve your carrots, your veggies, or whatsoever, and you can save for a very long time? Look at me like, yeah, I know. So blanching is very simple. You can blanch anything actually. You can blanch your carrots, you can blanch your lettuce, you can blanch your cabbage, you can blanch any vegetable actually. Okay, but now the problem about blanching, because I know that you're in Nigeria with me, or most of you are. Yes, you're really should be in Nigeria. We have this problem of unstable light, and that can actually tell your vegetables, making them bad easily. That doesn't mean that it's not going to last, but it's going to alter the lifespan. So I mean, if the particular vegetable you just blanched is supposed to last about a month, it will reduce it because of the whole, it's about 2 weeks or 2 weeks. So that's the thing. So now to blanch your carrot, blanching is simply the process of dipping in a vegetable or food into boiling water, transferring it, not like almost immediate. For instance, if you're blanching carrot, if you dip it into the boiling water, you stir for about only 20 seconds. You should not count it slow, just count 20 seconds. Bring it out immediately and dip into ice water. Give it an ice bath. I not say cold water, ice bath, like very cold. Now this is not the reason why you're going to do this. You know that when let us use green as an example. I think everybody's most people are very conversant to the green, like green vegetable. Or let us use our ugu or pumpkin, like our pumpkin leaf. Yes, I think pumpkin leaf, green are mostly used for vegetable sauce and so. Notice that these two vegetables are very delicate. And first of all, if you want to use them in cooking, you will like add it last, Yes, and stay and bring it down because the other heat is going to cook the rest of it. Abi, that's how we do it. I don't know about any other person, but us here in East, that's what we do. So that's the same thing applies to carrot. If you dip that carrot into that boiling water and you bring it out and you don't give it an ice bath, it will cook. Like you'll not even recognize it again after some minutes. Yes, because that ice bath is supposed to stop any cooking activity going on in the carrot. It's a very tender vegetable. You don't want to overcook it. Okay, so it's going to stop everything to just hot it and then put it in your ziploc bag and then put it in your freezer. It's just easy, make it very neat. Put it in your ice bath, you strain it very well, make sure it's dry, you understand, so you don't have to put water with the carrot or with the vegetable back into the ziploc bag and then put it in the freezer. That is going to spoil it. Okay, so that is one major way of blanching. You can blanch your leafy vegetables as well, your green leafy vegetables. You actually wash them, slice them and blanch, and then put them into your freezer, okay, so it will last for a longer time. It works. Once you put the vegetable into the boiling water, okay, it kills the, you know, the active enzymes that want to, you know, cause deterioration. I don't know if you get my point. It kills all of it, all bacteria, it kills it, and then you'll transfer it to the ice bath to stop the cooking process. You get my point, right? So number two, we have pasteurization. Pasteurization, now of course we all should have hearing about it. Well, maybe you might not actually know where to place it or what it is actually, or maybe I've not bothered to browse about what pasteurization is. But then pasteurization is mostly done for dairy products like milk, and also done for juices and, you know, for commercial companies and so on and so forth. Pasteurization is actually a way of preserving food with high heat or high temperature, you understand, to kill microorganisms that might be present in the food. Of course, you know, every food actually has one or two microorganisms going around there, like me sneaky. So it stops the inhibition of these microorganisms that can cause deterioration to this product. I don't know if you get my point. But then we are going to be using heat of that is below 100 degrees centigrade. That's about heat of from 60 to 72 or 60 to 80 degrees. I don't know if you get my point. So if you don't really understand this concept now, boiling point of water is 100 degrees. So when I mean heat below 100 degrees, you understand what I mean now, right? Yeah. So you pasteurize, you can pasteurize in batches, you can pasteurize for a period of time, but in a particular temperature for a period of time. So now that brings us to the third one, which is sterilization. Some people can be confusing pasteurization and sterilization, but let me define what sterilization is. For sterilization, you're going to be you know, preserving this food with higher heat, like heat that is above 100 degrees centigrade, about 135, from 135, 120 to, you know, 200 or so. So but then you're going to be doing this under pressure. For pasteurization, you can just, you know, dip your tin or tin of tomato or something into this thing and just, you know, keep it. But then for sterilization, you're going to keep it in this high heat under pressure, like in a very sealed area, so it will you get my point, so to wash everything off. So in fact those germs and stuff will not even survive in that kind of environment. So of course you do that one. So that's sterilization. So now I'm going to come to the part that amuses me, of course. That's where we have a low temperature kind of preservation, where we have refrigerating, we have freezing. Now I don't know if you know any, I don't know, I can't know everything, I'm still a student nutritionist, but if you know any other one, you can just add it to your comment section. Okay, so now the refrigeration and freezing. Refrigerating is obviously different from freezing. You know, you refrigerate your vegetables and fridge your soups, meats and stuff. Yeah, I know you get my point. But then if you're enjoying this particular you know, educational content, I pray, I'm just begging you to please subscribe, you know, subscribe to this channel, like, share. Okay, if you're enjoying it, of course I'll be dropping more tips, okay, on how to make keep your food and also for your more healthy living. So aside that, as I was saying, freezing. Now for freezing, you're going to be freezing your food with a very low temperature that is lower than 0 degrees. I didn't get my point. You're going to be using a temperature lower than 0 degrees. You understand? And for freezing, you freeze with temperature above 0 degrees. I don't know if you get it from 0 to. I don't know if you get, but for freezing, you're going to be using minus. So freezing has to do with lower than 0 degrees, and refrigerating has to do with, highness, just like pasteurization, sterilization. I don't know if you get my point. So now, okay, if you freeze your food, this is Nigeria. Sometimes this freezing is normal, but if you have a very very good freezer that can actually retain, this kind of conditions for a while. Like some freezers, they don't just thaw easily. I don't know if you get, no matter if they once and now here they used to like bring like 25 hours in a day. So other places, your place can be, better, maybe by using line A, so it's going to work well for you. But if you don't have this kind of space, or if you don't even have a fridge or a freezer, you have to look for any other alternative to preserve your food. Okay, that is very safe. Oh, not gonna do the one they don't send you do. That is very safe. So now another method of preserving food, you can preserve food with you have preservation by chemicals. You use chemicals like, sodium benzoate, potassium sulfate, sulfur oxide. I know you're going to be like but let me just let you know that most companies that, food commercial companies actually make use of this to actually preserve their foods for a very very more longer time. You might not be able to do it at home because you're not a chemist, or you're not even anything close to a food analyst, so you don't can kill yourself, because these products are actually safe because they've gone through examinations by the NAFDAC and some other food regulatories. I don't know if you get, and they'll be found safe for human consumption. So don't go and do your own in your house and go and die. Because too much of it can actually kill. I don't know if you get, it can actually damage your liver. So they actually put it in very 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 reasonable quantity, you understand, in the food, in the commercial products. Okay, and these products have been screened, you understand, have been nurtured, you understand, to know if they are actually very fit for human consumption. That's why you see them out there. So don't go and do that, everything. Because I know say Nigeria no dey hear word. No go and do now, as I mentioned their name, we now go to the market. Please, oh, man Kechi, please, do you have sodium benzoate? Do you have potassium sulfate? Do you have sulfur dioxide? No try am. I feel like just avoid these ones. If you don't know what it is actually meant for, just let it go. For instance, now when it comes to sodium benzoate is mostly used for juice products, but then when you add a little bit of more than enough, what I mean, let me say just like 0.1 grams, what yeah, you will not, oh my god, it's going to be giving you a tangy feeling, like it's scratching your neck. I don't know if you get that feeling when you eat a raw. Have you eaten raw yam before? Because I have when I was little. So that's the feeling it's going to be giving you. It's actually toxic. So these companies know what they are doing. So don't take laws into your hands. You actually preserve your food by salting it as well. Salt is a very 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 very, I don't know, incredible ingredient. It does a lot of things. Okay, you can preserve your fish with salt, and dry. You can feel by drying your things. Okay, although we are emphasizing on vegetables, and yes, you can actually make syrup. You can actually like cook your vegetables and keep them, like mkpụrụ, you understand. But for mint leaves, you can actually make syrup with your mint leaves, like use sugar, you know like coat it with sugar, and it can last for a long time. Okay, you can blend them and make a simple syrup with it. It's wonderful. Okay, so these are different ways of how to preserve your food. And of course, take that from me, your seasoned nutritionist. I'll be dropping more tips on healthy living over here. So if you know you enjoyed this particular video, don't forget to like, comment, share your views. So I'm still open to learning. Share your views, okay? And then that's it all. Bye guys. Mwah.